Hello everyone and welcome to my Christmas series for 2017. I'll be doing cards and tags and maybe some other projects, but we'll be focusing mostly on cards and some tags. The stamp set that I'm using on my first card is Carol of the Critters by Strawberry Jude Stamps. It's got these adorable little critters Christmas caroling, and I just couldn't resist getting this one. They were so cute. So I decided I wanted to do them on, like they were on a little snow bank or hill or whatever. And so I used my new stencil from MFT, the Snowdrifts and Hills. And so I just used that to block out the bottom of the stamp when I stamped it. And that'll create my snowdrift. And then I just stamped it on Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo mask paper and cut it out. And I'm going to be Copic coloring these. I'm going to start out with the reds, I believe. I'm going to start out with that cute little squirrel or chipmunk or whatever she is dress. And I'm going to use an R24, an R37, and an R89. Now, in different areas I'll color light to dark, dark to light. Just kind of depends on the size of the area. And reds, a lot of times I do color dark to light because they just have a tendency to bleed so bad if you oversaturate the paper. But this is a pretty big area on her dress, so I did do light to dark here. But like when I get into the sleeves and the hat and stuff, I will go dark to light. And so I just building up those shadows, and then on the second pass I extend everything and then fill in with the lightest color. And I will have everything listed over on my blog as well, under the blog post for this card. You can see there I went dark to light, and I think it looks the same pretty much either way you do it, especially if you just take your time and blend real well. Both ways give a really great result with the Copic markers. So I decided to do his scarf and hat in the red, since I did her coat and hat in the red, and then and bring in some green for their cute little mittens. So I'm going to keep the color palette, pretty simple, reds and blues, and the green is my little kind of pop of extra color in there. And the greens were YG 17, 13, and 11. Now for their caroling books, the browns that I used were E34, 35, 57, and 79. And I just, the lightest color, the 34, I just used that on the pages. Probably could have went with even a lighter color on the pages. My pages are a bit dark. But other than that, again, I thought I gave a really good blend for their little books. Okay, so now I'm going to do his jacket and her dress in blues. And it is B02, BOO, and BOOO. Oops, sorry, I got a little out of frame here when I was coloring that. I think I realize it here in a minute and move it back up. Okay, now for the puffy parts of their clothes, I used cool grays. I used C5, C3, and C0. And I just did kind of a stippling dotting effect. And for the critters themselves, I used warm grays. I used, I think all of my warm grays that I have, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1, and 00. And then for their little cheeks and the inside of their ears, I did an R20 and then just went back over it with the 00 to kind of blend it out. Same colors for her. Both critters are in the warm grays. And I did that little V at the top of her tail just to give it some dimension. can even go a little bit darker on that. When I went back over it with the lighter colors, it did mute it out quite a bit. So now I'm putting those masks on that I made because I'm going to do some ink blending on the background. And I just kind of penciled in where that snow bank is so I could adjust my mask to account for my snow bank. And I'm going to put that back in, and oh, I forgot that I was going to add a lantern, and so I had to stamp it on there and then stamp it on the masking paper and cut it out. And for the lantern, I used the cool grays again, just the ones that I had out. And the yellows are Y17, 15, and 13. And I think on the candle itself, I just did some warm grays. Just a little bit, not a lot. Okay, now for the ink blending. Tumbled glass, I believe is what I did to kind of sponge in the snowdrift. Or no, to start from the snowdrift up, I'm sorry. So that is my lightest color of sky. And then I went to Broken China from there. And I didn't really worry about getting it real smooth because to me, you know, a night sky has all sorts of different lights and darks in it. Now I did get one big bloop oops right there in the middle, and so I did kind of have to work a little bit to smooth that out. But with all the other stuff that I'm going to do to the sky, in the end you can't notice it anyway. So I just continued on from Broken China to Stormy Sky, Faded Jeans, Chipped Sapphire, and Black Soot. Now my paper was really tall and I had to cut it down quite a bit, so you didn't really see a whole lot of the Black Soot in the end. So here I just flicked on some water, and to me I think that kind of helped with the snow later. Now I'm using my MFT cloud stencil, and I'm just using hickory smoke to put in some clouds. And now this is my Copic opaque white, and I'm just doing my snow splatters. And I decided to take the mask off and splatter on them because I wanted them to be in the snow too. If you don't put snow over, you know, your images, then it doesn't look like the snow's falling on them. It looks more like stars in the sky versus a snowfall. So then I took my Signo Uniball pen and made some bigger, darker spots because the opaque white will fade back just a little bit. So I wanted to make sure it had some really, bright and different sized snow flakes. Then I took some of my blues and just went right around the edges where the mask might have not been exactly right. Oh, and then I did my yellow extended out further over the blue. So you can see the glow of the lantern. And then I took the sentiment from this stamp set. It has this really cool ornate C, and then a sentiment that you put next to it. And I just did it in silver embossing powder. And I added a little bit of silver Winka Stella kind of stars to the sky to finish everything off. For the inside of the card, I stamped the last critter from the stamp set in another one of the sentiments. And the critter I colored in with my Prismacolor pencils and added a little bit of clear Winka Stella. I will be back soon with another Christmas project. Thanks for watching.